All right, peace, 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 y'all. This is your host, Empress Coach Me Nicole, and this is the AM Inspiration Show to wake that ass up. Now, today the topic is living, the importance of living with your purpose. With that being said, I'm gonna let this music play for a few more seconds, and then we're gonna hop right into the topic. Yes, yes, yes. Hey y'all, this is Empress, and this is the AM Inspiration Show, the one and the only. Yes, original and authentic content. Yes, to wake that ass up consciously, physically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and financially. And guess what, y'all? Also soulfully. Now, with that being said, let's hop right into this topic because people always about purpose driven lives and walking in their truth. And today, that's what the topic is surrounding, is literally talking about the importance of living with a purpose, right? So let's get in right to that because you're like, okay, so at the end of the day, um, if you're not walking or living, if you're not living in a purpose, now are you really living? Seriously, you know, um, self awareness is entirely important, and people with a strong sense of purpose, literally, from what science says, live longer. Okay, and they're psychologically resilient. Okay, and a lot of the times their daily work and their existence or the things they live for are a part of are a major reason why they have like a reduced like um like they have like a longer reason why they like reduced in the side effects of having like dementia or literally expiring at a young age. Okay, so it literally proves to us why we need a sense of purpose so we don't decompensate, when our existence move in ways we don't desire. And literally when we take a leave or when we retire, like the thing, okay, we're gonna really get into it today. Okay, we're really gonna really get into it. And I want to throw no hints out there because it seems like sometimes within the first few minutes I always thought the hints. So I'm gonna let it drag on a little tiny bit. Wow. So don't feel like you're being tortured, okay? Dun, dun, dun. Having a sense of meaning and purpose, it really is so important because it literally will benefit the life of you, right? And the people that you impact. Say for instance, even if you own a business, if that business is built around purpose and is purpose driven, you won't really have any struggles with that business because you're going to dedicate the time, you're going to be ambitious about it, you're going to do the work necessary to make sure that it's successful because that's your purpose, that's your passion. Okay, it's not just a money making or a means to an end for you, right? Okay, the enormity of grief, right? The enormity of grief can literally lead to sickness, can lead to heart failure, can lead to all types of cancer, all types of things that they don't tell you about. How having that grief in your body, that anger can lead to inflammation. Inflammation always leads to disease. Any kind of disease you can think of is going to lead to it. Within the body that can create on its own. You know what I mean? I had to be more specific with that. Okay, so keep in mind that purpose, it can be simple, and it's certainly something that's free. Like, you don't have to search Instagram people pages and copy their captions, or steal their identity to find purpose in your life. Okay, you don't have to scroll through Clubhouse and look at topics and steal people topics and find purpose in your existence to be more impactful. Okay, that's not purpose. That's not being impactful either. That's being kind of phony. That's being like a carbon copy. That's being living on the external because you see someone else do it and you feel like you can do it better, instead of being supportive of that person's purpose, of that person's journey. You feel like, oh, I'm going to do it better because I'm going to do it myself. Okay, wake that shit up. You know, a lot of people are driven to compete. They're not driven to live in their purpose. They're driven to compete with other people. So let's not think that because someone is out there doing the work, or work that looks like the work, means that it's being original, or that it's coming from the heart, or that it's something that they thought of, or something that they're living for. Like I said before, a lot of people copy other people so they can seem like they are the person that go to the most important, like they're living in their righteous truth, just to stay relevant. Okay, we don't have enough of those conversations. Um One of the greatest gifts that is related to purpose is the vast divide between what we want and how we act on it, right? Okay. So, because we desire a purposeful existence, we tend to spend our days thinking thoughts and practicing behaviors that don't enhance our sense of being meaningful. Hello? Is this thing on? Let's do a rewind. Okay, so one of the greatest gaps related to purpose is a vast divide that we desire to, you know, want things, yet we act a completely different ways, right? Now, because the human experience, we literally desire a purposeful existence. Yet we spend our days enthralled in bed with thoughts and practices that don't exemplify the things we desire. Okay? Part of the gap is that as humans, we assume purpose is something that we fall into. A lot of people assume that because they like someone else in their journey and what they're doing, that they should do it as well because they can do it better. And that's their purpose. And a lot of times people think like, oh, if I go skipping and I splash in this mud, I'm gonna fall into my purpose and get the greatest idea. I'm gonna walk into my divine truth. I'm gonna walk and exemplify and expand myself into my divine purpose. Okay? And it's completely delusional. All right? So purpose is not something that just happens to us, okay? It's something that we can consciously, something that we can consciously cultivate. We don't spend hours on Google looking for topics. We don't spend hours on these apps looking at what other people are doing and trying to do it ourselves. And you know why? Because it's not coming to you naturally. It's not coming to you naturally, so it's not your purpose. It's something that you're forcing yourself to do. That's the image. That's an image driven lifestyle, okay, baby? It's not something that comes to you naturally. It's something that you are telling yourself that is your purpose. It's something that you are telling yourself that is important, but it really doesn't matter at the end of your life. It's not going to make a difference, even though some people, they do have successful careers built off of images. They do have successful careers built off of stealing, I guess, quote unquote, they call it content now, content from creators that are smaller than them or whatever you want to call it. But literally just stumbling upon someone and their personality or the things they offer the world, and you saying, oh, I could do that, but I'm going to do it better. That's not your purpose, because literally you had to search and find someone, and it didn't come to you consciously, and it's not a repetitive manner. Like, it's not always there with you consciously. Like, you're not always trying to help other people all day long. You're not always thinking of ways to help people, because guess what? You're not acting on it. So when you do things like that, you're working on the outside of your purpose, and you're working on the outside of yourself. Okay? And you're not living in your purpose. So careful, because it literally is like this, right? It's much more than what we think. It's not what we think we should be doing. Because right now, I think I should be having some vegan ice cream, but it's in the morning. I'm not going to have any. Okay. So I'm not going to do that. Hey, it's not my purpose to do that. Like, wake up in the morning and have ice cream. Hello. And I know that was like a weak excuse. So I'll throw out another one. Example, excuse me. So I'll throw out another one. So, an example of what purpose is not, besides the ones we just talked about, is, say for instance, if you're in a group of friends and all of your friends seem like they have divine purpose in their life, so you're always like, extremely supportive, quote unquote, just to see what you can get or see what you can learn from them, but yet you're always taking things back, like, oh, let me try that, or, oh, why can't I do this? Or, you get frustrated with yourself because you try to do things that they're doing, and it doesn't work out for you. Like, you're not getting the resources, you're not getting the support, and you're like, well, I feel like I do it better than them, but I'm not getting anywhere in life, because guess what? That's their divine path, and it has nothing to do with you. Okay? And sometimes that's hard for people to hear, because they think like, oh, someone else is doing it and I like what they're doing, I want to do it too. But when they're realizing that they cannot do what that someone else does, and they're realizing that they don't have the skill set, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the practice, and they are not persevering through anything, because they're met with frustration and stagnation and self-effacing behaviors the moment that they realize that it's not their righteous truth, some people continue on with it. That's the issue for them anyway. It's not an issue for the people that they're copying or that they're trying to do better than. It's not an issue for them. It's always literally, it boils down to a self-effacing issue, an individual issue. And unfortunately, people that do not understand what purpose is, they tend to blame everybody else for their issues. They tend to get upset at people that are walking in their truth, that don't need their validation, because for some reason they have told themselves that they are walking in their purpose. And even if they can't find their purpose, they're mad that someone else has, especially if that person is not seeking out their approval. Okay? Honey, I ain't saying nothing but a few words, period. Let me get a few moments to myself. Moments over. Well, okay, so listen. It's extremely important to understand that being kind is a strength, right? And at the end of your existence, that can literally define your legacy. Like, being like a snake, being like a backbiter, being like a plagiarizer, being someone who's never been original or authentic to who you are. If you have discovered that or not, because that matters. Okay, that matters. Dun, dun, dun. It's people that's 100 years old and have not discovered themselves, but they discover how to, I guess, eat healthy, eat slow, take their time, and live long, right? They discover something, but they might have never discovered themselves, okay? That's the whole thing. Like, like a lot of people were like, oh, another thing, like, to define that, what we just spoke on is like, oh, well, those people have been together for this amount of time, right? And You never know what those people went through. Okay, they might be financially tied to each other. They might be tied to each other about all types of things, and it's probably not what you think, and it may not ever have been love. I'm saying maybe, but like I said before, our brains are pretty hardwired to low vibration, right? So I'm not gonna stick too heavy on that because I don't want to go into that energy, but that's still a possibility, right? Because there's so many different possibilities that you have to become more aware of yourself and aware of the world around you, and not hyper focus on the future and not become too nostalgic in the past that you stagnate your own personal growth. And this is what happens to people, and this is why they're not walking in their divine purpose, because they have no idea what it is. They're searching and searching, and they're living out these existences where they're doing what people think they want them to do. They are